Welcome to Dr. Jester Rants, and I'm gonna rant about this very retarded piece of shit. It's from Vice, what did you expect? Anyway, good lord. The Warhammer 40k community is trying to weed out its far-right faction. Oh, son of a bitch. They actually think there is a very problematic far-right faction, when in fact it's the far left. Because who worships communism? That's Vice. That's the Tau lovers on the Sig Marxism and other communities in part in there. The 40k feminists and others. Those people are worse. Not only are they perniciously racists, they are also worshipping an ideology that comes from socialism, which gave birth to Nazism, but it's much, much worse. They've killed many more people than Nazism, and yet I don't see you having your panties in a twist. Do you? In recent years, I am not even going to bother to read the introduction. Another thing that is interesting is that, as Arch pointed out, this one reminds me more of the fantasy Warhammer characters and figurines, and he's absolutely right. It doesn't feel or look anything even remotely close to the 40k. But then the most hilarious bit is comparing Trump with Hitler, a meme, and the KKK. Isn't Trump who has a daughter who is Jewish, a son-in-law that is Jewish, who supports Israel, defends Israel, and, get this, managed to make a peace just today with Israel and the United Arab Emirates. This is an article for another day. For another hour, sorry. Holy crap, the mental ineptitude and complete and utter retardness on this picture just tells you it's a good preview of what type of article I'm gonna read. Warhammer 40,000 line, often known as 40k line, has been beloved by sci-fi fanatics since 1980s. The tabletop war game produced by Games Workshop is a fantasy space where players can become generals of their own futuristic army, locked in an unceasing war on a galactic scale. Yes, that's actually quite correct. In recent years, a game whose players often congregate online has attracted a small but vocal outright minority. No! Nobody has attracted anything. If anything, that what has been attracted is the far left, the communists. Warhammer didn't have this problem before. In fact, I think it only became really a problem because it became popular. And in fact, it's the the control left, that is the problem. They want to cancel everybody that doesn't agree with their narrative. If you disagree with him, he's going to kick you out of the hobby that you created, you invited. In 2015, the God Emperor Trump meme began circulating for chance /poll/board, depicting Trump's face superimposing an image of a fictional theocratic ruler from the game. That's utterly false. Well, technically correct, but this is all that there is in certain parts of this article, because it's not a theocratic ruler. First and foremost, you didn't do even your research before writing this piece of a shit of an article. You're an utterly incompetent journalist. In fact, I'm gonna correct it right here. The God Emperor is only called God Emperor after when it began more or less around in the middle of the Horus Heresy novels, and only after a while, especially because the Emperor himself has said he is not, I repeat, not a god, and he's definitely not a theocratic ruler, because he is advocated and has more than once advocated for atheism, or imperial truth, as he puts it. It's atheism, not theocracy. And even then, in the middle of the 40k, when the Emperor is seen as a god emperor, it still has goddamn fucking factions between them. For instance, the Mechanicum views him not as the god emperor himself, but the Omnisire, which is, well, kind of almost in there, but they don't see him the same way that an imperial citizen sees the emperor. Holy shit, you didn't even do your own research before writing this, didn't you? Holy shit on a stick. Since then, close 40k Facebook groups have become a repository of racism and far-right content filled with Warhammer-themed memes mocking everything from specific ethnic minorities to gender equality. I wanna see those memes, they sound awesome! Especially because I am part of an ethnic minority. I am Latino and I have Jewish ancestry. I enjoy those memes. Partially written as a satire in response to exceedingly optimistic sci-fi of the 1970s. Yeah, back then, yes, but back then Games Workshop also plagiarized a lot from other science fiction stuff. And, well, they also rewrote a lot of the lore to be less satire and more specific to the grim dark future. The game takes place in a hopeless dystopian galaxy where murderous armies run rampant. Yes, it's technically true. There is a conscious borrowing of fascist iconography. No, there isn't. Are you trying to compare this? As Arch even mentioned, the Aquila. Aquila is a symbol, in this case the eagle, as a symbol of various empires, nations worldwide. That includes, well, the Romans to America to various other countries out there. Seriously, did you even fucking do a single shred of research before you wrote this piece of shit? This piece of shit of an article? For instance, perhaps the most famous group of 40k's lore, the Imperium of Man, is a bloated theocratic ethno-state that traverses the galaxy, purging heretics and alien races, Xenos. Well, it's not bloated, it's not technically a theocratic ethno-state. An Imperium of Man is on itself the conglomeration of Space Marines, the Mechanicum, etc. and etc. Even though, in this case, you could also technically also separate them, but it's not really an ethno-state either. Because, well, there are blacks in there too, Asians, indigenous people, well, Indians in this case. If you think it's an ethno-state, you're a complete fucking moron. In the grim darkness of the far future, there is only war. Yes, that's it. Actually correct. That's what reads in many of the books itself. Many Warhammer fans are becoming increasingly uncomfortable with the outright faction of the fandom flowering in the certain online corners. No, what we are, which means the many Warhammer fans are in the 99%, which is mostly of what we agree with Arch, because apparently our protest, well, kind of had a nice little effect. But we are the vast majority. The ones having problems here are you people. You people are as in the Tau worshippers, the Tau lovers, the fucking traitors. Well, putting into a Warhammer dialect or dialogue, in this case, if you had done your own research, you would fucking understand what I'm trying to say here, using Warhammer's own dialect or words to describe what you people are, you fucking commies. One group taking action is no more damsels, which requires a bit of a man to rescue them. No more damsels. Do you actually? Sorry. Do you require Mario to rescue you? Sad that I don't that I'm not Mario, but I do have Italian ancestry, so maybe you require my aid. It's me, Mario. A charity calling for more inclusive atmosphere in the London wargame scene. Bullshit. What you want is controlling who gets to play the game. Members of want Members want Games Workshop to outline specific plans to tackle racism, sexism, homophobia, and other forms of prejudice in the wargaming community. Wrong! That hasn't existed in the past, but it just became a problem because of you people. Last month, No More Damsels co-founder Sarah Pipkin helped to write an open letter to address Games Workshop calling out bigotry in Warhammer, and you were, rightfully so, mocked. Sorry, hiccups, just 8. Proving open and clear measures around discouraging hatred and abuse would go a long way towards making the community more welcoming and tolerant for all. No, you are not saying that. You just wrote those words in there, but technically you don't want everyone. You just want people that agrees with you, and specific people who, well, in this case, you want people of non-white, non-males, and non-straight males. You are actually advocating for racism and other types of phobias. You are not advocating a community that is welcoming and tolerant for all. You are not doing that. We look forward to your support and seeing the precedent you set by taking repeated and consistent actions against to address prejudice. What about the prejudice of No More Damsels? No, of course not. You're not going to do anything about it. Although the letter, which was signed by over a dozen wargaming groups, was mostly well received, no, that's actually blatantly false. It was only well received within that 1%. You know, the aristocrats, the communists. That was the only place it was well received. No More Damsels expected to receive some online backlash. Players who ask for greater representation and more inclusive atmosphere in the world of 40k are often targeted by far-right trolls, with little in way of recourse. Are you fucking retarded? No, I don't want my representation in the game because it's a grim, dark future which mankind is actually in the brink of extinction. I don't see myself represented in a space marine. Look like a fucking mutant. Even if we go into Warhammer Fantasy, do I look like a fucking Skaven, like the fucking communists who worship Star actually compare Jewish people with? That's the exact fucking retarded piece of shit that we are against. We are saying that you people are the goddamn racists. You are the ones who come up with these far fucking theories and fucking... If there is a huge pile on, if they're getting trolled for being outspoken about wanting to see yourselves representing the lore, there's almost no one to turn to. Oh god, fuck myself. Blitkin explains over the phone there was a YouTuber who made a joke about the fictional Warhammer soldiers Space Marines being gay, who then received death threats for it. No More Damsels open letter didn't come out of nowhere. It was published in response to a statement issued by Games Workshop on the 4th of June. Which committed to diversifying its models and keeping racism out of its stores. How are you going to diversify your goddamn models? They are goddamn plastics made of gray. Of gray plastic. If you want to make a diverse Space Marine or something, pick up your fucking brush, pick up a bucket of paint or a tiny little thing that costs like a kidney if you buy from Games Workshop, and paint it yourself. Nobody is going to judge you for it. In fact, you are encouraged to make your own chapter, your own Space Marines. That's part of the fucking game. Have you actually done any research at all before you wrote this article? No, of course not. We will never accept nor condone any form of prejudice, hatred, or abuse in our company, nor in the Warhammer hobby, they wrote. Although Pipkin said that the broad anti-racist message was encouraging, No More Damsels had hoped Games Workshop would have outlined a more practical response. The group also urged Games Workshop to offer an apology to Josh Mallet, a black wargamer who had spoken publicly about racist comments he says were made to him by Games Workshop staff at a Warhammer weekend event. Games Workshop did not respond to requests to comment for this article. Well done, Games Workshop. You finally did something right. You should not respond to... well, I'll say journalists, but these people are more activists than journalists, and especially because the guy who actually wrote this article did zero in type of research before writing it. And even worse so, you should never ever respond or even acknowledge a vice journalist. because they are not journalists, they are activists. Others believe the company's marketing strategy may be inadvertently feeding far-right sentiments in the community. Thomas Parrott freelanced for Games Workshop until June, writing novels for its Black Library publishing arm. He thinks that adopting a surface-level narrative of good guys versus bad guys in a bid to appease the parents of younger customers who might otherwise be put off by 40k's cartoonishly grim lore opens the door to a troublingly simplified reading of the game. Well, let me put some context behind that. Thomas Parrott was fired because he called every single person under the sun a fucking fascist. He does not understand what fascism is or what the word means. Fascism is socialism. He called everyone fascist, and rightfully, well, not rightfully, that's the wrong word to put it. I absolutely fucking detest, and I am 100% against anyone getting cancelled for what they say, including someone like Thomas Parrott. But I have to say that you got what you fucking deserved, because you, Thomas Parrott, fomented this type of mentality and ideology that got you fired. It's really easy to misinterpret the Imperium of Man as being represented as a good thing, as opposed to what it originally was, which was lampooning the very idea of this totalitarian state, he says. Well, technically, initially might have been, but then again, the Games Workshop had to rewrite the lore and everything else. And now it's much more than this. And the Imperium of Man is technically not the good guy, it's more like an anti-hero perhaps, or I don't know, of a villain that sometimes is good, but this is what you can come closest to what you would call technically a good guy. Mostly because they will, in case if, well, they technically are acting kind of like you guys from the Games Workshop, and you from the communists on the control left, where you see one tiny little sand, as Arch put it, in the middle of the ocean, in which the sand doesn't quite agree with what you say in your thought, and then you dry the entire ocean just to find that tiny little morsel of sand, tiny little grain of sand, and purge it. That's exactly what the Imperium of Man has done, because when they find some corruption or chaos worshippers in a planet, they'll goddamn fucking issue an exterminatus. That means the entire planet is purged. Billions and billions of lives will be lost. But technically, the Imperium of Man is the closest thing you're gonna find as a good guy in that thing. But some in the 40k community felt Games Workshop should not have done that statement at all. One such member is Norway-based YouTuber Arch, known as Arch Warhammer, until a recent trademark dispute with Games Workshop prompted a name change. Turns out that it's not a trademark dispute, it's kind of like the Games Workshop threatened him. And this what has done is sent an entire chilling effect into the entire community that they cannot use the name Warhammer because, well, apparently it's not allowed. Even though it's a very common name and it's the name of a goddamn fucking medieval weapon. He launched an email campaign in July urging his 200 plus subscribers to email Games Workshop and tell them to keep politics out. I agreed, so much so that I've also participated in that email campaign. Arch says he does not identify as a member of the far right, and that's actually quite correct, and insists that he was genuinely not aware of any outright or fascist section of the 40k community. I agree, I never seen it either. I might not be as knowledgeable as Arch, or belong to the Warhammer community as long as he has, but I have never seen any of those things, and look at me, I'm Jewish, I have Jewish ancestry, I'm Latino. What else do you want? Rather, he takes the view that Games Workshop's statement was tantamount to aligning itself with extremists who support communism, and he says advocate violence. He's absolutely 100% correct, and I support exactly what he said here, especially because communists are worse than Nazis. Nazis are really evil bastards, but communists are even worse, multiplied by 7. That's what the communists are. And they advocate violence to the point of cancellation, and they want you hurt or killed for not agreeing with them. For me, this is the same kind of dog whistling that we hear for the outright, where they talk about their code phrases, he explains, via Discord. This seems to be a signal to a very small group of extreme people. What my campaign is saying is that Warhammer is for everyone, full stop, exactly. Our side, the 99%, says that Warhammer is for everyone, including you fucking filthy communists. It's for everyone. But you people, the 1%, the aristocracy, the communists, doesn't want it to be for everyone. 2 months ago, screenshots from our Discord server were posted on Sigmarxism. This is what, if you were anything even close to honest, vice journalist, is that Sigmarxism is the closest thing you're going to find to a fascist fucking board. Because fascism comes from socialism and communism from socialism as well. And Sigmarxism is a goddamn communist filthy shithole. A left-wing Warhammer subreddit. I would call it left-wing. I'll call it a filthy dingleberry-infested shithole left-wing. Multiple people who use racial slurs, while Arch himself referred to Sami people and indigenous people of the northern Scandinavia, gypsy but worse. Another poster used the term field exercises, a term used in far-right circles as referring to the activities of the Nazi Einsatzgruppen. Einsatzgruppen, I don't know, which murdered thousands of Romani people, Jewish people, and communists in German-occupied territories in the Second World War. I think the only thing that they did right at this Einsatzgruppen was the origin of communists. Okay, I disavow. It's a joke. It's a fucking joke. Don't take it seriously, you fucking retard. Occupied territories during the Second World War suggests a way of dealing with a group. And in fact, the Sigmarxism group here, they post a lot of hateful content that you would find objectionable anywhere. Prior to the leaks, Arch had made a video in which he referred to a fictional nobler race from the Warhammer Fantasy series as House N************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************** which he defended the use of the term White Lives Matter. Yes, White Lives Matter too. Latino lives matter. Are you saying they don't matter? That white lives don't matter? That white people don't matter? That Latino lives don't matter? That Asian lives don't matter? Are you saying that? Vice asked about his own use of racist language, as well as a dog whistle remarks on his Discord server. Arch tells me that he doesn't really concern himself with how extremists interpret his speech, and that he will continue to allow jokes. In fact, he even quoted a Chris Rock joke, and they attacked him because he dared to quote a joke. Are you telling me that we are not allowed to quote fucking black comedians? Are you people so fucking racist that you are going to go that far? If you are the most extreme tanky or even the most extreme fascist, if you simply want to play a game of 40k, not talk about your politics, simply collect the miniatures, I do not view that as Games Workshop's duty to stop it. I wholeheartedly agree. You can be your fucking disgusting little neo-Nazi or a disgusting little communist, but if you're gonna talk about Warhammer, collect the miniatures, etc., you are welcome. I don't fucking care who the fuck you are. He says, I view that the rest of the society's duty is to debate against these people and to prevent them from public discourse and the public opinion. Arch's view are shared by everyone. This includes YouTuber veteran Warhammer Leaky Soy. Sorry, you misspelled soy here. Who prefers to remain anonymous. He says that ignoring fascist leanings of certain players will likely prevent new members from becoming part of the Warhammer community. No, it's people like fucking you, who are preventing people from enjoying the community. And worse, he could radicalize young people into getting into the hobby as part of Games Workshop Schools program by leading them down a PewDie pipeline. Holy fuck, did you actually wrote that? In fact, I'm gonna have to ask PewDie pipeline. does he play Warhammer? If he does, then I probably should watch more of his content. Those extremist and far-right content, are you fucking retarded? This is the same idiot who actually issued a takedown notice to Arch for showing Leaky Soy's Twitter account. Yes, let that sink in. A public name for that, and he decided to issue a takedown. Holy shit on a stick. Leaky Soy suggests that a positive step would be a sign posted in every Games Workshop franchise. Oh, yeah. Now I know which sign you are talking about. No colored people, right? Is that what you're trying to say, Leaky Soy? Because that's exactly what you're saying. Making clear to all customers that prejudice has no place in the community. So you won't be allowed in, from what I can see. Some changes to the lore of the 40k would not go amiss either. There should be greater ethnic diversity in models. Ooh, so you want a black space marine with a big huge afro. Is that what you're trying to say? Or are you saying that you're not capable of painting a space marine with the skin color you want? He says it should be abundantly clear that the Imperial of Man aren't the good guys. Well, they are technically not the good guys, but they are closest to the good guys you're going to fucking get in that universe. Oh, right, I forgot. You view the Tau as the good guys. I'm so fucking sorry. You probably even think the Tyranids as the good guys, don't you, fucking Leaky Soy? They need to put the satire back into it. No, they don't. He says the other thing they need to do is stop making Space Marines appear as heroes. Well, it's the closest thing that one people can get to a superhero in that universe, but then again, not all Space Marines are heroes. Have you forgotten the Chaos Space Marines? Of course you did, because it doesn't fit your narrative, or you're too retarded to know, because you haven't done a single research about the team. Have you forgotten about Horus Heresy, which practically half of the Space Marines, or nearly half of the Imperium of Man, rebelled against the Emperor himself and became the actual bad guys. And even then, even before predating, or even before the actual true revelation of the corruption of the Space Marines, they weren't even really the good guys per se, because for instance, let's see, the World Eaters were viewed as quite abhorrent, even when they were supposed to be the good guys, the heroes, because they would practically kill everything on sight. They would actually look people innocent or not and purge them. Even the Word Bearers, which are pretty much the very definition of the Leaky Soy and these people here, the No More Damsels and other people like that, in which they practically view anyone who disagrees with them as enemies. That's exactly what Thousand Sons put or described the Word Bearers. And it turns out that the Thousand Sons is one of the bad Space Marines, because they've become Chaos Space Marines. Even they see it that you people are fucking retards. People on the outright think they are superhuman Untermensch warriors. Oh, pretty much, I think you understand about that. They, Games Workshop, do stuff around that. It just needs to be brought back to the fore. Holy shit, you people are fucking insane. You know what? This thing is dragging on and on and on for quite some time. If you want to know more about this, go watch Arch's video, because he definitely goes more into detail about what you people are doing. Because this is just nonsense, and quite frankly, the person who wrote this article has done exactly zero research on anything related to Warhammer. This is just fucking absurd. This is just absurd. Holy shit on a stick. God damn it, pickled shit. Oh my fucking god. Really, I've read bad articles, but this one really takes the cake. I mean, look at the absolute insanity that this thing was. The person did zero in research, quoted one of the 1%ers of the community and thinks that represents the entire community. Actually disparaged a beloved member of the community because he doesn't agree with Vice's view on things. Oh my fucking god. You know what? Fuck this. Shit on a stick. Pickled shit. Fuck everything. Thank you for watching, don't forget to subscribe, please share the video, good night.